I've talked with a lot of DuckDB users over the past 3 years, and at MotherDuck, we talk to people self-hosting DuckDB every single day. And self-hosting DuckDB looks easy at the start. When you're on your laptop, everything is local. It's kind of the honeymoon that people discover DuckDB. Then you scale, and a few gotchas and architecture decisions show up. So in this video, I'll map the graduation path of self-hosting DuckDB that I've seen, level by level, with the patterns and the trade-off at each step, so you can make the most of it. And also understand something just as important: if it is actually the right time to buy managed services like MotherDuck instead of building all of it yourself. So where are you on the road? So DuckDB is an in-process single node analytical database, and that single node, the second you set it, people get scared next to the word production. And I get it, but it's not a bug, it's a feature. More on that later. So two things move you on this graph. More concurrent writers push you on the right, and more users and readers push you up. The bottom left, the green corner, is one writer testing DuckDB locally, typically. If you go up, you have many readers, and if you go right, many writers. And if you land on the top right running all of it by yourself, congratulations, you're now a database company. Another dimension which is not here is the size of your data. We'll see later in the pattern that depending on that, you can have various graduation steps on self-hosting DuckDB. But first, let's talk about build versus buy. So the decision under all of this, build versus buy, and it's not DuckDB specific, it is true for anything you self-host. The self-hosting cost is often not the license in open source. DuckDB is free. It is your rate times the time you spend building plus maintaining. And I really insist on maintaining because AI changed the first half. Building is easy now, but you can generate most of the infrastructure in an afternoon. But maintaining is arguably harder because we write less code than we ship. We did review them, but when it's break, it's sometimes a black box. So there is a break-even point. So you can start by building if and only if you are technical enough. And the hardest decision is basically knowing when to stop and buy the rest. So let's start with the level 1, the honeymoon period local laptop. Quick words on the benchmark. There are a few in this video and you should not trust them, mine included. They're here to show a pattern or a trade-off, not to hand you a number saying this is better than that. So run your own on your own data, please. So level 1 is what most people experience DuckDB. They do a pip install or use the CLI. I ran here the TPCH query on 21 gigabyte dataset. It's more than 800 million of raw on a MacBook. Native DuckDB file versus raw Parquet on the same SSD. And this is really the best setup you can ever have. Your compute is right next to the storage. On MacBook, it's heavily optimized. It's a local NVMe. Point reads in 10 milliseconds and a full scan is about 5 seconds. Nothing to operate, and it ends the moment you need to share the data. So level 2, you first move the data to the cloud and keep the compute locally. Typically, you move it to an object storage, let's say AWS S3, and boom, first box to build, authorization. You need to set up the IAM roles so your teammates, whatever client they use, can reach the data. And watch what happens to the query once the data leave the SSD. The same query here with 3 storage class on the cloud. NVMe is fast, EFS is slow, 10 warms up, S3 is slow every single time. We forget this. In the cloud, not everything runs on optimized NVMe on purpose because that is expensive. So different storage class for different jobs, and picking one is not your call. So there is also a bandwidth ceiling. A laptop to cloud is fine for small to medium data. But once you get to tens to hundreds of gigabytes of data, you're gonna need also to move your compute. So your internet provider bandwidth is not anymore the bottleneck. So that's the level 2. You move the compute also to the cloud. By moving the compute next to the data, it's better. And now you have to operating another server, another authorization box, plus an interface. The interface is what you expose to the compute so that people can connect to that servers. It can be an API, typically also a DuckDB extension That's how MotherDuck talks to DuckDB, so local DuckDB to the MotherDuck. Something to know, extensions are C++ where they work best. DuckDB does have other API to build extensions like Rust and others, but C++ is the well-known battle-tested path. So another thing to consider in the box you are building now. So by moving the compute to the cloud, here is where people panic. Single node, what if my data doesn't fit the memory? Well, one classic answer, and Okta, the authorization company, does that. You can run a version of this, fan out. If we take our initial example, a coordinator split the 21 gigabytes into 700 megabytes of shards, and one small AWS Lambda per shard does a partial group by, coordinator stitch it back. Really the classic map reduce, and it can be as fast or faster than one big box. So the fear is not justified. You just need to know how to slice and dice your data. So the costs move now, however, into that coordinator in that case that you need to run. There is also a small pounds open source project from DeepSeek, and if you want to go distribute it, but honestly, it's really tough for the average team to run, and it hasn't been updated since its release. All right, level 3, scale up or scale out. So we just talked about the scale out, many small worker plus a coordinator, typically on an edge function like AWS Lambda. The other way is scale up, a bigger box, usually on Kubernetes cluster, and ideally one pod per user so people don't fight over resources. So that's great for tenancy. Remember, a single node is not a bug, it's a feature, but now you manage that scaling too. And one honest caution on Kubernetes, managed Kubernetes looks easy. You can start a cluster, run some pods, done. If you already have a team running Kubernetes, go for it. But if it's new to you and you're betting, it can be that hard. I've been there. It's not that easy when you are a newcomer. Just check that assumption before you lean into it. All right, level 4 is many readers. So the first kind of real load most people hit, it's reads. A lot of users on the same data. So the question stops being, can it answer one query fast? It becomes, what happens when the 128 people hits it at the same time? Same query, and I compare here one box versus MotherDuck scale out. So one box is a shared CPU, so it tails blows under load, but MotherDuck gives each user isolated computes, so the tails stay fast. And that isolation is the multi-tenancy box, and building it yourself is real work on top of your Kubernetes cluster. So bonus route for reading, you can push the compute into the browser with DuckDB Wasm. Each reader runs the engine on their own laptop, and so everything is processed on the client browser side when the data is loaded, and it costs you nothing on the cloud. The catch here is the 32 Wasm heap. A tab caps near 4 gigabytes, and to be safe, you need to stay under 2 gigabytes, and past that, you offload to the cloud, which is more logic that you need to own, and MotherDuck does that through the dual execution, moving work between the clients to offload it to the cloud. All right, level 5 now is many writers. So reads you scale with more compute often, and writes are the real wall in DuckDB. 2 DuckDB processes cannot write on the same file, so you open it twice, and the second one just gets a lock error. So one writer with many readers is fine. Many writers is where it starts to be challenging. But there are 2 ways through it. First, the Quack, a new client-server protocol for DuckDB, very early. Clients connect over Quack, writes get serialized server-side, no lock, and here, for example, 8 concurrent writers, 0 conflict. But it has a box. The token is not real authentication, so you need to build your own authorization in front of that server. And Quack is just the protocol, not the platform. And to be clear, MotherDuck does not use Quack as of today. We build our own as this was needed. Second option to scale writers is DuckLake plus a Postgres catalog. DuckLake is a table format on Parquet, but the metadata and the transaction lives in Postgres, which is fast. And Postgres arbitrates the writes, so many DuckDB processes get ACID transaction. Batch your writes, and you get 8 writers, 2 million of rows, 0 conflicts. If you fire tiny commits and they fight, you can add a retry. The real combo is such a setup is often just a batch plus a retry. The box you had here is you run and backup that catalog. Even if you own already a Postgres database, that's still additional maintenance. All right, quick note on Lakehouse lock-in. Your parquet is portable, and that's true, in table format like Iceberg 2, but the catalog is the sticky part. The integration on catalog and features varies depending on which catalog service you are using, so just be aware of that. And on storage, the headline is location, not the format. A local NVMe file is drastically faster than anything on S3. So at scale, you often want both hot local for interactive and Lakehouse for the overnight batch jobs. So now look at all the boxes we talk about across the journey. Storage, authentication, interface, catalog, scaling, plus the ones that show up when people depends on you. An API, an MCP, typically for agent, observability and reliability, snapshots and backups, and point-in-time recovery. Often people, of course, do not take all those boxes at once, but each one show up and add to the final build maintenance. So building all this is relatively easy, but the biggest challenge is keeping it all alive as a single product for your data platform. So should you self-host DuckDB? Well, you're on the MotherDuck channel, so do your own research, but yes, I would generally encourage it, if only to feel the weight of these boxes yourself. Just be honest about your skills and the time you actually have. And because the hardest goal, as I said, is not building any single box, it's actually spotting the moment the maintenance start to be really a load and switching to managed services. And if you get stuck on your boxes, we are happy to talk, and MotherDuck runs all of them for you, fully managed. In the meantime, hope it was useful for you as self-hosting DuckDB. Take care of your ducks, and I'll see you in the next one.